Hello, welcome to Access. My name's Rob, and this is photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima, which I think might be one of my favourite photo modes in any video game. We're just going to give you a brief demonstration of all the various options you've got to play with, because there are lots and it's really flexible and really cool. So the first thing you want to do is obviously take Jin to a nice scenic place wherever you want to take a photo. I'm standing in the middle of Omi Lake right now, and I've got my traveller's attire on because when I take photos I like Jin's cape to blow in the wind. So all you need to do to activate photo mode is tap right on the D-pad and instantly we're in photo mode here. So I think what we'll do first is show you how to take a nice I don't want to say selfie, I'm going to say portrait, a nice portrait of Jin. Let's get him into a more sort of exciting stance. Let's get the katana out. Okay, so I think we'll go stone stance, a nice classic stance with the katana there. Okay, you'll notice the weather's, it's not great, it's a bit foggy, but that doesn't matter with photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima, as we will show you. So if you want to take a nice portrait of Jin, the first thing you want to do is get the camera, up close. And you can go up and down using L2 and R2. I reckon round about there is probably going to be okay. So for a portrait, you want to get the focal length in quite close to Jin, because we want to be picking up, we want to be picking up the detail on his face. A nice little firefly flying in the background there. So we're going to get the katana in, and we're going to get Jin's face in, and this is going to look really cool. I reckon that's quite a nice frame. You can add roll if you want like a canted angle. Maybe let's go with that. Depth of field is really important when you're taking a portrait shot, I think. You want to get some nice depth to the frame, and you want to really bring out Jin's facial features. So pump up that depth of field. You want a really shallow depth of field, and then you can obviously change where the focal distance is. We don't want it on the trees in the background. You want it to get it on Jin's eyes as much as you can. So I think there is looking good. I'm just going to move the camera very slightly. Get some nice focus on Jin's eyes there. Colour grading. There's lots to choose from. Vivid really makes the colours pop. Black and white. Black and white is really good for, especially black and white vintage, I think, for sort of portrait shots like this. We'll maybe go and have a look at those options later. Autumn, I think, gives like a really good colour balance when you're looking at a portrait image. You can change the intensity of the colour grading there. So that's like it with no filter, and that's max filter. Exposure, you can increase the exposure to brighten it up a bit. We can brighten it up a bit there. Just get Jin's face looking nice. This is the coolest thing. This is my favourite thing, I think. You can change what particles you have. You've probably seen this in a bunch of videos before. So if you want, you can have red leaves falling in the picture, which is just amazing. Currently they're on 100% intensity, which I find is a bit intense. So I'm going to take them down to around about 36%. Let's go through all the options. You can have yellow leaves if you like. Come on, the yellow leaves, there they are, look really nice. Bamboo leaves. Beautiful. Orange leaves. Come on, orange leaves. There they are. You can have green leaves. All of the colours. Cherry blossoms, classic. Makes a beautiful image. I find like the leaves are better for landscape shots, and for portraits I like ash and embers, which is this one. They create like a really nice soft glow in the background. We're going to change the colours on this shot soon. Just to go through the other options, you can also have fireflies. We just saw some actual fireflies flying around. Where are the fireflies? There's let's put them to 100% intensity. Come on, fireflies. Maybe they're flying around further out. Oh, there they are. There's some dragonflies for you. Butterflies. So many butterflies. Crows. Why would you want crows? I mean, if you're if you're taking a photo of a battle scene, maybe, and songbirds as well. So you've got all these amazing options for particle effects in the background. But for portrait shots, I like ash and embers. And I'm just going to turn the intensity down a bit. You can see them just giving this really nice soft glow in the background, and when we come to actually take the photo, we're going to stop the animation of the background. Wind speed. Now this is cool, and this is why I've got Jin's cape. I like the wind. I want it to look really dramatic, so we'll turn the wind speed up, and the direction of it. You can see Jin's clothes there. They're changing the direction in which they're blowing. Let's come out so you can see this on the focal length. So look at Jin's cape there. And look at the ashes and the embers as well in the background. It also has an effect on those, which is great. So if you turn the wind speed down, you'll notice that everything, Jin's cape, the ashes and the embers in the background, they all stop blowing. But I like a nice dramatic looking shot. Let's get that wind speed back up, and I kind of like that direction, but just so you can see on the cape, you can see what effect the changing the wind direction has. So now his cape is blowing out behind him the other way, but I really like it blowing off to the side, so that's what we're going to do. So there we go, nice and windy. Let's get the focal length back in. That's quite nice, I think. So we'll have a look at clouds in a minute. Time of day. Now this is really crucial, I think, for taking a good portrait photo. You want the sun to kind of act like studio lighting almost. So you want to take Jin to a place that's got a good open area. You don't want to be blocked off by mountains or trees. You want the sunlight to be able to get onto his face and to create some nice depth with shadows. So in that regard, you don't want the sun to be like shining directly on him. I mean, those shadows don't look really cool when we have it there. You want to have some nice contrast. Look at that. Look how dramatic that looks. That looks really cool. So just play around with the lighting setup. Obviously, when it gets into the evening, the light changes. But yeah, as I said, use the sun as if you're positioning a studio light, and you want to get some nice shadows on Jin's face. I think that's quite cool. That early morning light, although the light around 1 o'clock gave us some good shadows on Jin's face there. So I think I'm going to go with this. So and then you can change the weather, and you can have it clear if you like. Having it foggy kind of acts as like a natural diffuser to the light. So if you think your light is too strong, just stick some fog on, and automatically, look, you've got this. The light isn't as sharp. It's a softer light on his face. So you can change what the weather. Overcast is quite cool as well. Just look how it changes the background as well. That's quite dramatic lighting, isn't it? We want a little bit of background detail. So I might go with I might just go with fog for this, because when you're taking a portrait, you want the focus to be on Jin in the center. You know, you don't want a big bright background. And then we're going to turn the animated environment off, so you get this nice sort of. And you can mess around with this until you've got the ashes in the background in exactly the kind of place you want them to be. And then of course you can change Jin's face. You can have him looking confused. You can have him looking dead. Disgusted, I find, is a really good intense look for a serious portrait shot with the katana. I quite like it. You can also add cinema bars if you want the shot to look even more cinematic. I mean, that looks quite cool. But we won't add it for now. The stamp, I find, is really good for landscape shots. Not so much for portrait shots of Jin. So I'll turn the stamp off for now. You can also add music if you like. And I'll show you how you play around with the keyframes that you can do in a sec. So there we go. We've got a nice portrait shot of Jin there. I'm going to go back onto the colour grading, because I think black and white looks really cool when you're taking a portrait shot. And all you need to do then is press triangle to hide the options, and your photo is ready to be shared. So that is our little look at how to take a portrait photo in Ghost of Tsushima. We're going to come out of this now, and I'm going to just show you my favourite way to take a landscape shot. So, and you can see the flexibility of this photo mode as well here. So, once you've taken your photo, I'm going to take mine. All you need to do is press circle, and you come out of it. And look at that! Look, look at the contrast here. So I'm going to have Jin, I think. Maybe I'll have him standing by this nice tree over here. Ooh, a gift. A gift altar. Very nice. So it looks nice towards here, doesn't it? So if we have Jin standing there, maybe we'll have him playing the flute as he looks out over the lake. One of my favourite things to do in the game. So there we go. He's playing his flute. Go into photo mode. I like to go low down when we're doing a landscape shot. That's quite nice. That's quite a nice composition, isn't it? Underneath the tree. That rock there looks really cool. So we go quite low to the ground with L2 and R2. So for a landscape shot, bring the focal length out a bit so you're seeing more of the land. You can add some roll if you want. I'm not going to add any roll for this one. Depth of field, you don't want that much depth of field when it's a landscape shot. Obviously you want to see the landscape, but I do like to add a bit just because I just like the depth it gives to the image. So we're taking like the foreground, the immediate foreground, those rocks are now slightly out of focus. The tree in the background has gone slightly out of focus. It auto focuses on Jin, by the way, when you do this. But then with this tool here, you can, manually change what you want in focus. But mostly I like to take photos looking at Jin. Color grading. Black and white looks lovely, doesn't it? Storm. I love the color in that. Autumn looks beautiful as well. I think we'll go with Storm. Exposure, brighten it, bring it down. Particles for this one. I mean, we've got some white leaves in the background there. I need to turn on the animation of them. But that's quite a nice effect, isn't it? The red leaves coming down. It sort of like offsets Jin's clothing. He's got like a red headband. So let's go back to the particles. Let's turn the intensity down a bit. So many red leaves. Yellow leaves. Yellow also looks really nice, doesn't it? Cherry blossoms, though. Here they come. The pollen, the ashen embers we saw. There's those fireflies. I might go with some red leaves though. I think that looks really nice against the white. So as before, you can change the wind speed, make it a bit windier. Look how much faster those leaves are blowing in the wind now. But I want a bit of a calmer landscape shot now, so we'll take the wind speed down a bit. You can adjust the clouds with this slider. Time of day. This is the crucial thing. You want the lighting to be just so. So come on, the sun. Let's bring you all the way round. Look at that. Beautiful. So we've got clear weather. We've got foggy weather if you want like a really sort of dramatic silhouetted shot there, which I think looks really beautiful. Heavy fog, even more of an effect. And then various different types of weather presets there. But I think we'll go with clear for this shot. Obviously I'm going to show you the camera positions that you can do now. So we're gonna keep the animated environment on. Jin's playing his flute, so I'm not bothered about what his face is doing. You can, if you want to, you can remove his headband or whatever head accessory he is wearing. You can show it or not show it. Let's keep it on. Cinema bars, they look really cool on landscape shots, I think. Make them widescreen. Optional stamp, I'm going to turn it off. So I like to add music to this. So we're adding some music to this. Okay, this is where it gets cool. Okay, so you can set your camera position. Obviously, if you want to take a photo of just that there, you can do. If you're taking just a still photo, I would recommend turning the animation of the environment off, just so you get the nice crisp photo. But if you want to do this cool tracking thing that I'm about to show you now, keep it on. All you do is press X, and that essentially sets a keyframe, and then you can just. All I'm going to do is, I'm not particularly good with this at the moment, it's just a nice sort of tracking motion. I'm moving the camera now just with the left and right sticks, and I'm using X to set a new camera position as we go around Jin. So we'll just do a nice sweep around Jin there. And then all you have to do is press triangle, and the game will auto play an animation around those keyframes that you have set. So you can obviously record that as a video clip, and you can share your own mini movies, which is just really cool. So I'm going to go back to my original position there. So yeah, there is our brief look at the photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima. Please do send us your very best photo mode photos. If you look in the description, you'll see all of our Twitter handles. I would like to see my Twitter timeline over the next week be nothing but beautiful Ghost of Tsushima photos. Please make that dream a reality for me. But there you are. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you found it helpful. Let us know in the comments what you think of Ghost of Tsushima, and please click that notification bell so you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation. PlayStation